What's good, people? Welcome to Pros Only Sports and welcome back to another episode of United State of Mind. United beat Arsenal 3-1 yesterday in the Premier League. I'm gassed. We're going to break down everything. But before we do that, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. If you're new, hit that notification bell, share this out with your friends, your family, and all of that good stuff right there. Boy, we always beat Arsenal. We always beat Arsenal. I like if you know the history, especially at Old Trafford anyway. We always beat Arsenal. If you know the history, like I think in the last 17 years, Arsenal have probably rocked up there and beaten us 3 times in the Premier League. Only 3. If I'm thinking back at it, so maybe a couple of years ago, maybe yes, I think it's 2 years ago, Aubameyang scored that late winner to beat us 1-0. Prior to that, I believe Arsenal beat us in 2006. It was Adebayor's late goal again. And then I think Sylvain Wiltord scoring that late goal in 2002. And that's all I can think of, like, to be honest with you. So going into the game, I was pretty confident. Like, I was like, it's Arsenal. They don't travel to Old Trafford well, especially if you're able to, unsettle them. They have that little soft underbelly. You can unsettle them a little bit, then boom. Like you can get the victory, especially if you put your chances away in those big games. So I mean, look, let's break down the game. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's United winning the game 3-1. Obviously, 2 goals from Rashford and 1 from Antony on his debut, and a consolation for Bukayo Saka on the Arsenal side. But a quick breakdown of the game. So first 8 to 10 minutes, I feel like United dominated the game. Do you know what I mean? Like we were aggressive. We had that fast start that I was talking about. If we want to win that game, you have to start fast in that game. We were first in the second ball. We created a few chances. But I believe after that 10 minutes, our press kind of died down a bit. Arsenal came back into the game, in terms of the territory, had a bit of possession as well, was able to put their foot on the ball and pass it about a bit to find each other on the field. And then, they started to create a few chances of their own. And then, boom, first controversial moment. Martinelli gets a goal on the counter. But it was disallowed via VAR. Paul Tierney had to overturn it because of a push on Christian Eriksen. Now, let's get this clear. It's a push by Martin Odegaard. It might be soft, but it's a push. Do you know what I mean? There's no way that you can put 2 hands on somebody's shoulder, push them over as they're trying to pass the ball, and it's not a foul. It's a foul. Like, it's a foul. Arsenal fans weren't happy. I feel like if we were in the reverse situation, I'd be angry too. But it's because it's passion, it's emotion. You're watching the game. You want your team to win. You want to make sure you take every advantage and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? So like, it is what it is. It's a push. Let's just make that clear, right? But we can move on into the first goal. I mean, look, it's great build up for the first goal. There was a lot of talk after the game about all of our goals were counter-attacking. This first goal definitely weren't a counter-attacking goal. We actually tried to create an opening. We reset. We made 18 passes throughout this whole move, and it ends up with Antony finishing. And I want you to just look at something very key here. And we're going to talk about this player and what he can bring to the side throughout the course of the season. Christian Eriksen, that ball, the ball he fired into to Bruno for the first goal from deep, something we've been lacking for so long. Somebody that can play that pass with that intensity. Like, I'm going to talk about it in a lot more detail later, but him making that pass, he hooks it towards Bruno. Bruno takes a couple of touches and then he gets fouled in the build-up as he lays it off to Sancho. Sancho into Rashford, and then Rashford into Antony. He curls it round Ramsdale in the Arsenal goal to get his first goal, his debut goal. And I'm glad he got that goal because obviously there was a lot of talk about, his price tag, whether he can settle into the Premier League quickly, coming from the Eredivisie. And I've spoken about that as well when we did the player profile on the previous video. So I mean, look, that was a great build up for that first goal, and it showed that some of the work that they're doing on the training field in terms of not forcing everything. We've been forcing things over the last 3 years as a team. Try, like, if the opening is not there, just go back and reset. You can create another opening, and that's what we did for that goal. But then we move into the second half. Arsenal come out and they start to dominate us. We didn't really start really well, do you know what I mean? And then Arsenal get their goal through Saka, they equalize. And then it's kind of like, yo, United need to wake up, man. We need to wake up. We can't be allowing, teams coming here to dominate us. Like, you got to do something. And I feel like, they reacted very well, United, after that. And so, we go into that second goal, like, but Arsenal are pushing forward now. They've got the momentum. They've got their goal, their equalizing goal. They want to now push ahead and try and get themselves in front. And as they're doing that, there's a problem. As they're doing that now, all of a sudden, it's like, you have to have that fine balance between, pushing forward and then not leaving too much space in behind. Because I feel like there was a fine balance on both sides, whether they had to go or whether they had to stay. And it was kind of a stick or twist type of moment, right? So now Arsenal pushing up forward, they're leaving so much space in behind, and Rashford's pace on the counter there was able to get us back into the lead. And I mean, like, you look at that goal again. Now, that's almost like Christian Eriksen, that ball from deep. serious business when he's doing that kind of stuff, and we've been lacking that. That ball from deep to give it to Bruno to that ball from Bruno as well on the assist for that Rashford second goal. Flicks it with the outside of his, I believe it was his right boot or his left boot. I don't even remember. But either way, he does that. Rashford, it was a poor first touch, I can't lie. I thought it was stuck under his feet, but he just hit it, boom, into the corner, into the net. And it's like, we're up 2-1. And I believe at that time, or just before that moment, I think Arteta made those 3 substitutions for Arsenal straight. Three players in. You got to kind of test the static when you're a player. If you're coming off the bench, if you're not really up to the level of what's going on, you can get lost. And I feel like that's what happened to Arsenal. They lost momentum by bringing those 3 changes straight in. Like, maybe Arteta should have just made one and then see how that affects the game and then make the others later on. So I feel like that kind of killed their momentum. But it was good for us, man. They went too gun-ho, left too much space behind. We took advantage, obviously, with the second goal from Rashford. And then, obviously, now, as Arsenal are now chasing the equaliser, there's so much more space in behind. And then United go on the counter again. Bruno into Eriksen. And then Eriksen squares it to Rashford to get his second goal of the game. And that's it. Game over. Like, I mean, you look at that and you're just saying to yourself, look, United have just blitzed Arsenal. Literally blitzed them in the final 20 minutes of that game to just kill it off. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just too happy, man. I'm just happy that we was able to assert our dominance at Old Trafford against Arsenal once again. Because the thing about it is, they were talking like they were going to come up there and come up to OT and do what they wanted to do. And it's like, no, you don't have that history. If you Arsenal fans are real Arsenal fans, you know that getting a draw at Old Trafford is probably one of your best results. And I think some smarter Arsenal fans knew that getting a draw, 5 wins out of 5, getting a draw at Old Trafford in your biggest game of the season so far is probably what you should have done. Try to do that. You went too gun-ho and it backfired. It is what it is. But for United, hey, it's a 4th win in a row for Ten Hag, turning around that poor start to the season. We're looking up to the top of the table, and we're like, we can shake some things up this season. Let's see what happens. But I mean, look, we're gonna move on to some standout performers for the game yesterday. And I was talking about this guy, Christian Eriksen, free transfer for United. United don't do smart transfers, but this one is key for this season and beyond. Like, those balls from deep. We've been lacking this since Michael Carrick, Like, I've been crying out for a midfielder to be able to do these kind of passes. For both goals, for both the first and the second goals. That first goal, if you saw the way he hooked it into Bruno, I'm like, yo, it's just the intensity on that pass. It's that intention on that pass. Let's pass it forward. I've been missing this because if it was Scott and Fred there, the two of them would be trying to find some way to pass between them because nobody wants to take that responsibility or that risk to pass the ball forward. But Eriksen's always doing it. He loses the ball sometimes, but that's the risk you take when you're trying to play the ball forward. And look, on those 2 goals, just the intensity on the pass, man. When you hear it on the mic, when you're watching it on TV, and I'm sure the people that was at Old Trafford, they heard it. When you smack that ball, you can hear it. There's intention there. As I said, we've been missing it since Carrick. And look, he clocked up 11.2 kilometers on that field yesterday. I hope on Thursday they rest him, Because I'm telling you, I said it in a previous video. If we didn't sign an extra midfielder, he was going to be key this season because of what he offers on the pitch, the quality level that he brings to that midfield. He's going to be key, and we have to rest him on Thursday because we need him. We desperately need him, because we don't have that extra midfielder. But look, it's getting good. It's getting really good. And as I said, it's a smart transfer for Man United. He's going to be so key this season. We don't do smart transfers. I'm even still kind of angry at the fact that we didn't sign him when he was at Ajax in 2013. We should have brought him to the club. We wouldn't have had all of these midfield problems if he was still here all that time. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm going to shout out McTominay now. Like, he's had, the fan base are split. There's some that really love him. There's some that hate him. But yesterday, you can tell, you can say for sure he did his thing. Like, he was everywhere. Back in the day when Fergie used to have those key players in certain big games that he put them in there and say, lad, you go and do this man marking job, or you make it uncomfortable for the players out there. Don't give anybody any time and space on the ball. Just put your foot in. You know what I mean? That's what he did yesterday, and that's what he can do, right? He's not supposed to be doing that every game. And this is something that we can talk about later when we're talking about improving the qualities of the squad and all of that. But in the last few games, his influence has been important for the team and has led to us helping us to win those games. And they did it again yesterday. Made it uncomfortable for anybody in close contact with him yesterday. You saw what he was doing to Jesus, how he pushed Martinelli. It's all unsettling tactics. They don't want to be anywhere near him when he's in and around their proximity, right? He did a job for the manager. He's listening to the coach. The coach has given him instructions, clear instructions. So you go out there and you do what you need to do. And I mean, look, he completed 100% of his passes yesterday. When have you heard that from McTominay? Look, it's going good. Let's hope it continues for McTominay here, because at the end of the day, he's proven something here. He's proven that the manager can trust him. And so, look, long may it continue, man. I'm going to shout out Bruno Fernandes. Boy, and another assist again for the Rashford goal, that second goal in the game. He's looking a lot more like his old self, but he's reining in that Hollywood pass. Sometimes he was trying things, last season that just weren't on. He's reining that in and he's picking those moments. And it's good to see, man, he's getting back to his old self again. Like, I think also the fact that Ronaldo is no longer in the starting lineup at times. He's not operating in those similar spaces. And that's what kind of, reduced his impact last season. And, I feel like he's got that freedom again. There's a partnership beginning to form between himself and Eriksen too. Because as I said, those two deep passes that Eriksen played, they went into Bruno, and then Bruno returned the favor on the third goal for Rashford when he put the through ball through to Eriksen before he squared it. So I mean, hey, like Bruno once again doing what he knows how to do. I mean, I'm sure we can bring up the stats of the goals and assist record since he signed for the club. It's immense, isn't it? Like, and look, at the end of the day, what he's offering the team is helping us to win, and so I'm happy with that. And then in terms of my final shout out, I'm gonna shout out man like Marcus Rashford, man. He's had a tough time of it. People have wanted him out the club. They say he's this, he says he's that. Look, an assist and 2 goals for him yesterday. Whew, the manager is utilizing his strengths. We know about that pace that he's got. Whilst he's got it, you must use it. Like, we know about like his some of his inability, to make the right choices. But I'm telling you, when you put him in front of goal, he comes alive. That instinct takes over. And look, he did it again yesterday. Like, and I feel like he's gaining confidence. He is a confidence player. It is what it is. That's the truth. Like, he is a confidence player. And like, I feel like when he's really confident, he's trying all sorts of things. And most of the time it will come off. Sometimes it doesn't. But I feel like going back to basics, going back to what the thing that is your strength, and that is the pace. And the fact that the manager knows this and is utilizing that in the right way, is only going to look good for Marcus Rashford for this season. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be, starting every game up top. Right now, he's basically just filling in because Martial's out injured. And Ronaldo is not up to speed in terms of fitness yet, because obviously he didn't have the preseason, and obviously now his future is set. at United, he has to stay for the course of the season, his last year. So yeah, but at the same time, Rashford is doing the job that he's supposed to do on the pitch. And like, come on, man, Marcus Rashford, he loves a big game. Look at his record, right, against the top 6 teams since he came into the first team. A throwback. They were talking about on Sky Sports yesterday. It's a throwback to his first game for United in the Premier League. 2 goals against Arsenal. He scores another 2 again. What more can you say? I'm happy for him, man. I just hope it just continues. I hope the confidence continues to build and grow, and he can continue this form. And I'm just going to give a special shout out to Diogo Dalot. I mean, he's turned his career around. He came to United in that ill-fated window under Mourinho's start of his 3rd season. Comes in from Porto for about 15 million euros, 20 million euros. A lot of people were just questioning the signing. Why did we bring him? You know, he only played, I think, 6 first-team games for Porto. Had a lot of injury problems at United, you know, when he joined. You know, he showed glimpses in his first few games, but, you know, like, he just, because of the injuries, he just had too many problems. We buy Wan-Bissaka for £50 million. At that point, you know, they're not even going to consider him. He goes out on loan to AC Milan. It wasn't the most successful loan, but it was enough for him to get some football, you know, and at least get some experience of first-team football at such a young age in his crucial development stages. And then he's come back to United. He's had to put his head down. He's had to work, and he's put himself right into the manager's plans. And, like, you know, had a good performance, a decent performance yesterday. But, you know, he's showing the energy, the attitude, the character to play for this team. And the managers noticed that, and this is why he's got his place in the team. And I'm happy for him too, because obviously it's hard for a young player to come in, have setbacks through injury, have setbacks because the manager's not picking you. You go out on loan and you don't have the best loan, but you get some experience anyway. And you have to come back in and work again to try and prove a new manager, you know, that you have something to offer this team. And look, he's done really well. And I just wanted to give him a quick special shout out. But yeah, we're going to just talk about Ten Hag real quick before we wrap this one up. Boy, he's turned this camp around since that defeat to Brentford, man. Like, the fact that, you know, there was you know, the vultures were circling after that defeat to Brentford, whether like whether he was even up to this job. Of course, the club was slacking too with the transfers and not bringing in the right players and this, that, and the other. But to go from 2 defeats in your first game to 4 in a row now, and you're 3 points off the top of the league, what more can you say? He's doing the right thing. Like, he's a very smart coach. Making that mistake of putting Eriksen in the single pivot in the game against Brentford, and then deciding, okay, I'm going to continue to play him, but we're going to make sure that he gets a bit of insurance next to him, and he kind of plays in that hybrid 6 to 8 role. That is somebody who's tactically got it up here. We've been lacking this for years. We've been looking for a young coach that, or I'd say young, he's not young, but a coach that is like basically on the pinnacle of becoming great. And he's come in now and he's going to do something with his team. And this is something that all the fans need to just get behind him, because he's going to do something here. He's that smart to be able to make that adjustment and stick to his laurels and take certain players who, you know, were, let's say, on the cusp of leaving the club, on the cusp of, you know, the fans wanting to strangle them. And now they're looking like world beaters again. Like, testament to the manager, man. And like, long may that continue too. I mean, you look, next up, United play on Thursday against Sociedad in the Europa League. I think it's a competition that United have to take seriously. They have to try and win it. I'm not saying that first game they should be playing the full strength team. Of course, make some changes, rest some players. Varane needs a rest. Eriksen needs a rest. You know what I mean? Like, give some of these players a rest. Give some players some game time as well. I feel like confidence is high in the camp. So, they'll, you know, Fred will come in there. Casemiro will probably play from the start. Ronaldo will probably play. We'll still have a strong enough team to go out there and beat Sociedad, I think. So, you know, it should be really interesting there. So let's hope United get that win and then get our Europa League campaign off with a good start. But people, I'm going to wrap it up right here, man. Look, I'm gassed. I'm happy United come out 3-1 winners against Arsenal in that game yesterday. There's so much more from this team, and I can't wait to watch across the course of the season and react for you guys as well. So, like, guys as well, make sure that you give me your thoughts on that game in the comments too, because I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you. And yeah, man, make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button as well. If you're new, hit that notification bell as well. There's so much more content to come on the channel, not just United State of Mind, but we got Cannon Talk, the Arsenal show, coming very, very soon. We've got Back at the Bridge as well from my guy Darren. Let's make sure that I'm going to make sure that he gets some content up on the channel so we can just get this thing kicked off. But yeah, man, look, I'm excited for what we got coming up soon. And boy, there's so much more to look forward to. So people, I'm out. Peace.